few tweaks and a few suggestions on some things that you may not have thought about that could have a huge impact on your business. Now, why am I raising this? Well, I had a bit of a drive this morning, ladies and gentlemen, to see the impact that was happening out there in business with this crazy times that we're in. Now, I'm going to talk to you about having some improvements in your business by doing a few simple things. But before I do that, for those of you that don't know who this handsome devil is, my name's Ian Marsh, and what I do is help people become successful business consultants. And I also take on a handful of clients from time to time and help them grow their companies. So back to the one thing that can make a huge difference. Now, right now, there are a lot of people out there that are taking this action. With all the changes that are going on, what they are doing is putting their head in the sand and hoping that things will come back to the way things were. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's just not going to happen, I'm afraid. I'd love to say that we could go back to the 2000s when things seemed to make a lot more sense, but things are not going to change. So with change comes opportunity. And so what I want to speak to you about here is something that I had a look at this morning. As I mentioned earlier, I went for a drive. And as I went for a drive, I went down to Surfers. Those of you that don't know, I live in God's country. So I was wondering what the impact was that was in Surfers. And so I went for a walk, and the amount of businesses that are closed, I mean, it was heartbreaking, ladies and gentlemen. Heartbreaking. I mean, that restaurant has been around for so many years. Now, let's talk about the one thing, okay? So, is there anything that can happen? What you got to look at, okay? You've got to be realistic, okay? So, for any business to succeed, you've got to have two key things. You've got to have good maths and good psychology. The maths is that you've got good profits in whatever product or service that you offer. And the psychology is that there is a hungry crowd there that actually want what you have, okay? And if that hungry crowd no longer exists, well, you need to change the game and get into a different industry. However, if we know that there is still a valid market and that people are still out there, then we need to change our tactics. And that's where I'm coming from here. So if we talked about that restaurant, and I should have taken a snapshot of it. I wonder if I can come back to it again. You'll see that restaurant. I'll just play it one more time for the fun of it. So you're going to see a snapshot of this restaurant. Restaurant has been around, I don't know, I reckon at least 10 years. At least 10 years. And so if that person that owned that restaurant had actually gotten the details, had actually gotten the data of all of the people that had attended that restaurant over the years, they'd probably have a database of tens of thousands of people that would be coming to that restaurant. And so that means that they would have the opportunity to communicate with them and send offers out to those patrons. Now, if you had a database of 10,000 people, say, and you said, hey, come on Thursday night, we've got a few places vacant, and we'll give you 15% off. Okay, well, do you think that out of 10,000 people, someone will go, oh, you know what? I remember that place. Why don't we go there, honey, and have a nice feed? It's just one thing. And I can tell you, after working with thousands of companies, very few of them utilize their database effectively. Okay, that's just one thing if you focused on that. Okay, so now let's look to another thing. So on the way back, I saw one of the most ideal positions for a business to be set up for exposure. Okay, so let me see if I can find it here. So this place here, this has literally tens of thousands of vehicles going past it every day. Tens of thousands of vehicles. It's one of the busiest roads and it's got maximum exposure. So what's the one thing that we could have done? Now, they closed their doors here, and I'm not having a go at the company because, you know, they're a very large company. Maybe they made a strategic decision to take more and more of their business online. I do not know the fine details, but I do know the optimization that could happen here, where they lost, I would say, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars at least by not doing one thing. And that one, so have a look at this sign here, okay? And now I want you to think about it. When you've got your business, I'm going to show you just one small tweak, one small change to this business that could have made a huge, huge difference, and maybe left them in this premises simply because of the exposure that they're getting. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cars seeing their signage like that. I mean, it is very, very hard to get positioning like that. So what if we did this with the business? What if we had the business and we put some signage up with the website and it stood out like the proverbial? Do you think that it would have driven more and more business to that business? Well, of course it would, especially if you did a bit more improvement on my signage. That was a quick little Camtasia trick there, but you had a little image of a free gift when they came to the website. Well, I think that would massively increase the people going to that site, don't you? Now, those two things that I'm just talking about, they are so simple to do. And yet, if you don't know about doing it, then how do you know? So these two tricks here, one, your database, two, your signage. If you just attended to those things in your business, what sort of impact would that make? Well, I'm telling you now, pretty darn big. How do I know? Well, because I've applied that strategy and so many others like it. And here's the good news. It's not rocket science. That's why I can do what I do, because it's simply a mechanical process, largely, to help a business. So many other things that you could be doing to improve your company, assessing your online presence, and just as I showed you the holes in the signage situation with that business, the bags to go, and I checked out, they've got an amazing website, so I'm not having a go at them, but I'm saying that there is golden opportunity in almost any business. So my point is, if you would like to see where the gold is in your business, and if you'd like to discover just one thing that could make a huge difference to the results you're currently getting, right now I'm happy to help, because I am taking on a few more private clients, and I'm happy to have a free discovery call with you and see where there is some gold lying in your business that you could take advantage of. And it'll be a free conversation from me to you. And here's the weird thing. You see, I actually help you so that I prove that I can help you. So I help you in advance, and if you like the ideas that I share with you, just maybe you might want to work with me in the future. Well, anyway, that's about it. Just to recap, think about how. Here we go. Firstly, be willing to ask for help, because you don't know what you don't know, okay? Make this your favorite word. How can I? Not I can't, or the world's against me. Just start making that phrase, how can I? And then just be willing to accept that there is change, there's nothing you can do about it, and so you need to make the most of it. And with that, again, there'll be a link up top or down below. Check out the Work on Your Business